There are stories that shake the soul. Stories that force us to stop, to look within ourselves and ask, what if it were all true? What you are about to hear is not an urban legend, nor the fruit of imagination. It is the shocking testimony of a girl of only 16 years old who experienced something that escapes all human logic. An experience at the border between life and death. A journey beyond the veil of time and the world. She was given up for dead. The doctors had lowered their gaze. Her heart had stopped beating. Yet, in that exact moment, when silence seemed definitive, she lived the most shocking encounter of her life. She saw Jesus. But it was not a sweet and reassuring apparition. Jesus did not speak to her of peace, nor of consolation. He delivered 3 terrible truths to her, destined to be fulfilled by 2029. And, with a firm voice, he told her, 2029 will be the last. But what does the last really mean? Last year, before what? Last time of mercy? Last chance? Or, the end of everything? After miraculously awakening, with simple words but eyes charged with fire, this young woman decided to break the silence. She chose to speak, to share what she saw and heard. Because she was entrusted with a task, to warn the world. In this video, you will hear her testimony. We will tell you, step by step, what was revealed to her. But we warn you, you will not be able to forget it because some truths change everything. Prepare yourself. The countdown has begun. She was only 16 years old. Her name is Alessia M. She lives in the province of Turin, and until a few months ago she was a girl like many others, school, friends, music in her headphones and dreams still to be written. No one, not even she, would have ever imagined that her life would change so radically. Much less that she would receive a message capable of making anyone who hears it tremble. It all started with a trivial illness, a sudden collapse. The doctors spoke of a fulminant cardiac arrhythmia. For over 7 minutes, her heart stopped. 77 seconds longer than eternity. The doctors were ready to declare her dead, but what happened during that interval is something no science can explain. Alessia tells of finding herself in a place outside of time. Light everywhere, but not a blinding light, alive, aware, enveloping. There she saw Jesus. And he didn't just smile at her. He spoke to her. With sweetness, but also with urgency. He told her that 2029 will be the last. He confided 3 shocking truths to her, which will manifest in the coming years. And he asked her one thing only, to return to tell the world. When Alessia awakened, the doctors called her a miracle. But she, with a different, more adult look, only replied, I didn't come back for me. I came back for you. In this video, we will reveal what she saw, what she was told and why her message cannot be ignored. Time is running out. And 2029 is not so far away. It was a morning like many others. Alessia had woken up to go to school, with the usual hurry, backpack on her shoulder and phone in hand. Nothing suggested what was about to happen. During the second hour, suddenly, she felt dizzy. Her face became pale, her hands cold. She tried to call the teacher, but her voice wouldn't come out. Then, emptiness. Her heart stopped beating. Her classmates screamed, panic spread through the classroom. Help arrived immediately, but the monitor said only one thing, cardiac arrest. For 7 minutes and 20 seconds, Alessia was no longer with us. Her body was there, but her soul was elsewhere. She herself says she wasn't afraid. I felt light, as if I was leaving an enormous weight behind me. Then, everything became light. But not just any light, it was alive, full, it seemed to know how to think. And there, in the center of that light, there was a presence. She had no doubt even for an instant, it was Jesus. He didn't need to introduce himself, Alessia says, you recognize him and that's it. It's as if the heart had always known. Jesus didn't show her images of paradise. There were no angelic choirs or golden rivers. No. There was only him and a message. An urgent message. Marked by 3 truths. With a firm voice, he told her, 2029 will be the last. And then, you must return. To tell it. Because no one is ready. In that moment, Alessia understood that she hadn't died. She had been called. And that the real test. Alessia remembers every word with a lucidity that doesn't seem human. They weren't sounds as we know them, she recounts, it was as if the words entered directly into my soul. I couldn't forget them, even if I had wanted to. The first truth that Jesus entrusted to her is as simple as it is devastating. He told her, the world is kneeling before a deception. And it doesn't realize it. Jesus didn't speak of wars, nor of pandemics. He spoke of distorted truths, of anesthetized hearts, of a humanity that trusts lies more than light. He showed her faces, entire crowds, all with wide open eyes, but blind. Men and women who followed persuasive voices, golden promises, easy solutions. But behind those smiles, Alessia saw the shadow of something frightening. He made me understand that we are preparing to welcome someone. But it's not who we think. It's the opposite. Jesus revealed to her that before 2029, humanity will enthusiastically welcome a figure who will seem to bring peace, progress, hope. But it will be the great deceiver. And many, including believers, will embrace him. Even within the church, Jesus said, there will be those who acclaim him. They will deceive you with words of love, but it will be love without truth. They will offer you freedom, but it will be freedom without God. And those who try to tell the truth will be silenced. Jesus looked at Alessia and told her, you will have to speak. Even when they tell you you're crazy. Even when they hate you. My people must know, the deception has already begun. And you? Would you still trust what the world calls true? Alessia didn't have time to ask questions. Every answer came to her before she could even formulate it. Jesus spoke and every word seemed to open a door in her consciousness. Then, his voice became deeper. The tone more grave. And he told her, there will be a shock. Not only of the earth, but of hearts. A visible event, which no one will be able to ignore. Alessia tells of having seen the earth tremble. Entire cities vanish like sand in the wind. But it wasn't just a physical earthquake. It was a spiritual movement, as if all humanity were suddenly placed before naked truth. Jesus showed her a future moment when every man, every woman, would see themselves as God sees them. He told me it would be an instant of pure truth, where one couldn't flee, nor lie. Masks would fall. Even the most ancient ones. He called it the warning. An illumination of consciences. A gift, but also a test. For some it will be the opportunity to truly convert, finally, before it's too late. For others, it will be a condemnation they will refuse with anger, turning completely against the light. He showed me people screaming, others kneeling and crying, and still others laughing in the face of truth, as if they wanted to tear it away. Then Jesus told her, when you see the light and feel the earth tremble, know that it is not the end. It is the beginning of judgment. Alessia, even today, becomes emotional remembering that vision. Because she understood that it's not fear that saves us, but truth accepted with humility. And now, are you ready to know the third and final truth? Alessia says that, after showing her the great deception and the shock that would reveal consciences, Jesus remained silent. A silence that wasn't frightening, but that seemed suspended on the edge of eternity. Then, with a voice sweeter and at the same time more terrible, he whispered to her, 2029 will be the last. Not of humanity, but of this epoch. After, nothing will be the same as before. Alessia felt a chill run down her spine. She wanted to understand. She wanted to ask, last, in what sense? But she didn't need to speak. Jesus answered her with a look. He showed her a timeline that was breaking. Events that were accelerating, confusion, crises, struggles between nations, betrayals, a church shaken to its foundations, and then a clear separation, as if God Himself were dividing those who chose light from those who chose shadow. 2029, He said, will mark the end of mercy as you know it. After, it will be the time of justice. Not as punishment, but as full truth. And truth judges by itself. Jesus showed her a sky that opened, a luminous cross that appeared in the entire world. And millions of people who understood, finally, everything. But for many, it was too late. He made me understand, Alessia says, that it's not about fear, but about choice. That everything will depend on how we live these years. That the time of decision is now. Finally, Jesus told her the last words before she awakened. You have been a witness. Now be a voice. Because whoever listens, will be saved. When Alessia reopened her eyes, she was in the hospital. The doctors had already begun to inform the family that there was no more hope. Her heart had stopped for several minutes. Yet, she had returned. But she was no longer the same. No one really understood what had happened to her. But she did. Every second, every vision, every word she had received, burned inside her. Like a flame that cannot be extinguished. In the following days, she didn't speak to anyone. She prayed. She fasted. She cried. Then she understood, she couldn't remain silent. Today Alessia is 17 years old, but she has in her eyes the look of someone who has seen the invisible. She doesn't seek notoriety, she doesn't want attention. But she has begun to tell everything. In prayer groups, in schools, on social media. She doesn't impose. She doesn't shout. But she witnesses. Her message is clear. She repeats it with a firm voice, even when she is mocked. Don't wait until 2029 to convert. Don't wait to see with your eyes. Truth is chosen now, in the silence of the heart. Jesus told me that we can still change things. But only if we listen. Many ignore her. Some fear her. Others begin to change their lives. And you? What if it were true? What if there really are only 4 years left until an epical turning point? What would you do today, knowing that the time of mercy is about to end? Alessia doesn't ask to be believed. She asks only one thing. Ask Jesus if it's true. And listen to the answer. But do it now. Because then, it will be too late.